In this video, I'll talk about how to use prompt lists to create a lot of variations of the same subject that you can render overnight. It can be 50 prompts, 300 prompts, 500 prompts. It's all up to you and the way you structure it. I, in particular, used it for different variations of my 3D blockouts, different styles, and different colors. This can be used both with Flux and SDXL models, so Stable Diffusion, it doesn't really matter. I'm showing Flux here because Flux is generally quite a bit prettier on the results it creates. I will show different configurations of prompt lists. So this is the start of a simple prompt list when I have one list, one image, and then it goes into the depth control net. We get the depth image out of it. Then we have our prompts. In this case, it is an SDXL network. It gets calculated and then we get an output. I talked about the depth control stuff in my other videos quite a bit. And this video, I will just concentrate on these prompt lists. You do need to install ComfyUI Inspire Pack, RG3, and WWAA custom nodes. It is a bit of a complex install, and I looked around. There are some options where they have a limited amount of prompts where you can like run 3 prompts at the same time or 5 prompts at the same time, but I never could find an option where you could run 50 or 100 at the same time. Here I open the text file we are going to use, or you will build yourself. For example, I have this sci-fi org style, and I write the description of the style. I don't say a tank, I don't say a soldier or robot. This is a generic style description which we then later can combine or concatenate with another text description and be more specific about it. And all these lists, they have to go to custom nodes. Then you look for the Inspire Pack, then goes into the example folder or any folder you can put actually here. If you make multiple folders, it will still see all the text files inside. And we have this list here. I also did some other stuff with different projects where you want to use 300 prompts in a row. Going back to this list, the formatting here is very important. It has to be positive, and I try to avoid capital letters. Then we have negative with the negative description, and then we have 3 dashes. Can be multiple dashes, very important, because if you put a capital letter here, this prompting list will not work. It's very, very sensitive to this particular formatting. And the way I build this list, I use ChatGPT. You type in something in this format, you can copy paste it into ChatGPT and tell it, okay, I need 10 sci-fi styles, create me 10 prompts. Usually you have to tweak it a little bit and ask ChatGPT to put dashes, make sure to not put any random stuff there, and eventually you'll get 10 of them or 20. One of the things that's a bit annoying that we cannot actually know how many prompts are there because you ask ChatGPT to do 50, but actually creates 47, which I had recently that problem. And the way I found out that it was 47, I copied this to a Google Doc and Control F looked for positive, and it showed me that I didn't have all the 50 prompts and I had less than 50. It's cumbersome, but if you know a better way, if you watch this video and find a better way, please tell it in the comments. I really couldn't find anything better. There is an option to use a large language model inside ComfyUI and LLM that will generate prompts for you, and it sounds cool. I will do a video about it. However, it is a lot slower, a bit unpredictable, but the biggest drawback is a good LLM can be like 10 gigabytes in size. It's gonna be slow, while a prompt list is just milliseconds in a request. I will start with this main node in the middle. This one loads the prompt list that we have in that particular directory. Again, you cannot put any other directory. It has to be the directory inside that custom nodes pack. I find it to be a little bit annoying, but this is how it works. Then this has to go into this unpacking node, and that unpacking node has this positive prompt. Honestly, whatever you type in here, it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't go to carry on. I don't even know why they have these fields. And another annoying entry here, we have this images entry, and I had to put my image into this node. However, you can see the image is not going anywhere. It just has to be there for this node to work, but it's actually not participating in any way or form. Then I have my preview text node. It shows what current line it's picking out, and it is going from the positive output, and then that goes to our clip encode to our positive prompt. I want to go pick everything up, Control B, and bypass it. If I click run, it shows me this mistake. This was an incorrect file. It couldn't find the file. So we have here 10 entries. This will cycle for 10 times, and every time it will be, picking the next entry. And to check that it's running correctly, I Control Enter. I see if that updates, and you can see it is updating quite fast. It's going through the list. It's important to troubleshoot, to have this preview text node active to see what's happening. I also have this display integer. It tells me which particular entry we're dealing with right now. And this has a huge application. I'm using it in the project where I don't use any 3D models, where I just want to run multiple ideas and generate them using Flux. But in this particular video, I want to show how we can use it with images and with a lot of images, actually. If you don't want to make this, I have a Patreon that includes all the files, extra tutorials, extra videos, which you can just load them up and install all the custom nodes that you need. There's a lot of value here. Go check it out. The link is in the description. The next workflow, I have the same setup with a little extension. Now I have this text concatenate node where I am plugging whatever is coming from that prompt list, which is still cycling through the 10 prompts. It goes in this text concatenate node into the text A, and text B is a string value, which is pretty long string, which is copy pasted, which adds a bit more styling to this particular prompt. Or often I put in the actual item I'm talking about. So this is going to be tank, and I can do more styling of the tank. Then I like to add the setting. Could be, in this case, background winter landscape, can be background alien planet, can be background desert. It's up to you. It adds everything here. So if I press Control Enter, this one is like kind of clean medical tech, which actually didn't really produce me good results. Ordinate high empire sci-fi like Jupiter Ascending was great, actually. It was giving me the best pictures. Military industrial, cyberpunk was giving me some good results. And you can see it's got the background winter landscape in the end, and it's got tank in the end. To put more value on a particular prompt, we can swap the places. So we can have the tank to come first. So especially for the Excel, it's very important. But even for Flux, it's good to have the most important stuff in the beginning and then add the less important stuff in the end. Let's increase complexity a little bit more. In this case, we have multiple images coming in. I have 18 screenshots of different props that are cycling here. And the tricky part is to make them cycle along with the prompts. In this case, I have my APC on the screenshot, and also happening here, I have military APC. And the way we are cycling them all together is by having a particular prompt list. My prompt list here specifically says 18 prompts, because I know I have 18 images, and I know that image 5 is going to be, say, a knife, then number 8 is going to be a drone, number 12 is going to be a spaceship. So I design my prompt list so that I can cycle that. It's a little bit of work. You can see it here. I have my sci-fi military pistol, great. I don't have any styling notions here because my style happens in this concatenation node right here. So I add my style in a B entry, and then I add a background, in this case blurry background. I wanted to have more isolation for the prompts. And to run this well, I need to loop this counter 18 times. So here I made a mistake. It has to be 18, not 10. And that number, that integer that we are getting, is going into load image badge node and goes into this index entry. So that it picks the 5th image, the 6th image in the folder and runs on it. Generally, it's good to understand the systems if you want to build your own logic, your own apps and such. I honestly often ran a very simple prompt list against one object, usually with concatenation. So I would run it with concatenation against one object. I would do 50 times of one tank. But if you have a more complicated job where you need to run overnight a lot of styles and want to test all the concept ideas, then this matching amount of screenshots that you have and matching amount of images that you have will be very useful. One thing I forgot to mention is that if we want to reset this, I need to press true, and you'll see the number goes to 0. If I want to restart this counter, I have to reset it, press one time, then one time, run it one time, and it will start to run it. Again, the system is honestly a little bit complicated. Maybe someone will create a custom node pack which will make it easier. For example, the custom node could read the amount of images in the folder and can help with prompt generation or prompt entry. I think it's something they can build with the cursor or ChatGPT partially. And if you do, leave it in the comments. I'll be happy to check it out. I'll do a separate video about this final workflow where I had image sorting between vertical and landscape images because I had all kinds of them in my folder. And then I had like a full-on text concatenation with extra styling and with our original 18 images, 18 entries, and then extra styling running at 54 entries. I'll do a separate video about it, or you can get it on Patreon right now. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you soon.